Hey, this is Allie Edwards, and welcome to Project Life Week 1 for 2018. Hoping to be sharing some of my spreads this year in this format, kind of just being able to do a video overview as I work through them. I almost always start out my Project Life spreads with my title date card. Sometimes they are quotes, sometimes they are photos, but I almost always put that date on there. I am doing a week at a glance, and so I do a 2-page spread. This is 12 by 12 Project Life using Design A page protectors, and that's the way that I've been doing it pretty exclusively since 2011. So it continues to be the way that I like to do it. The size continues to work for me as well. As you can see on this spread here, I have almost all of my pockets filled with photos. It's not something that I always do, but it's something that made sense this week as I was documenting the beginning of my participation in a free yoga series, which is here on YouTube with Yoga with Adrienne, and I'll link to her below as well. So I've taken a picture of myself every day this week while I was doing yoga, and I'm documenting it here in those 3x4 pockets across the spread. To add a little bit more information there, I'm using chipboard hearts with white number stickers. The chipboard hearts are a add-on for the story stamp for the theme of For the Love. And if you're not familiar with the story stamp, I have a few subscriptions on my website: a story kit, a story stamp, a digital story kit, and another one called Stories by the Month that I will link below. And a lot of the products that I'm using are from those kits as well. The Totally Into This card that I'm writing on right now is from the For the Love kit, and if you're watching this in real time, that is still available for you to get a hold of until January 12th of 2018. At that point, we will move on to a new theme for the story kit for this next month. So I love repetition in my spreads, and the more you watch, the more you will see that I generally like to create a formula for myself and then follow that throughout the spread. I don't always do it that way, but it's one of my favorite ways to get my stories told. And for instance, in this case, on all those 3x4 photos, I added a chipboard heart with the white number, and then all my 4x6 photos, you are going to see me adding a label sticker. I've offered label stickers a few different times in my shop. Some of them have been different colors. Some of them have been full colored. We've done them in bundles. We've done some of them in as add-ons for some different kits, things like that, but I love them. These are some of my favorite shapes, and you'll see that I'm just simply pulling out the photos that I've already printed and adding these label stickers directly onto my photos. And I'm using a Slick Writer pen to write on there and just giving a little bit of extra context and extra information. I'm a big believer in the fact that you don't have to tell every single story for the week. Obviously, I have, many more stories that happened in this past week, and I'm picking and choosing which ones I want to add here. And this week I decided I wanted to focus on that yoga practice that I've been doing, as well as adding in a few other photos of things that were happening around here this week. I wanted to also just mention photos. I generally print photos first. That's kind of where I start from, and that's what you saw at the beginning of this video, is I had all of the photos already in the pockets. I print at home using an Epson PictureMate PM400 printer. It sits here at my desk and is connected to my computer. I edit photos generally in Photoshop, sometimes in Aperture, which is the photo management program that I use, and then I print both 3x4 and 4x6 pictures on this Epson. You can put 2 3x4 pictures to print them out on one 4x6, or if you are kind of into the quick and get it done like me, I often will just print one 3x4 on a 4x6. It's a little more wasteful, but it is, I don't have to do any additional things for that. So that's a little bit about photos. Most of these photos here are taken with an iPhone. I think actually all of them were taken with an iPhone. The ones of myself, I use a self-timer to take those with a 10-second self-timer on my iPhone to be able to get those shots. So in addition to adding the label stickers to each one of the photos, I also added a word phrase sticker to each one of the 4x6 photos. This word phrase sticker sheet that I'm using was part of the One Little Word sticker sticker bundle for 2017, so last year's sticker bundle. I just have all my products on my desk in a couple boxes there for easy access, and I'll try to do another video about that at some point in time. Again, this idea of following a formula. So a quick and easy way is to just decide on a couple products. I've definitely found that limiting the amount of products I have access to when I'm working on any of these spreads simplifies things for me. So deciding, you know what, I'm just going to use a label sticker and a word phrase sticker on each one of those photos, staple it down with a tiny attacher just because I like the look of it, and then call it good. That is a great way to, number one, create consistency in the design throughout your spread, and then number two, to just not have to think about it, right? To not have to think about it as you're doing it, rather than feeling like, oh, I need to add 500 million different products on this page, or I need to add lots of other things, or where you end up spending all of your time looking for the products rather than getting the projects done. So that's one of the big things that I've been advocating for a number of years now as I've been memory keeping. So I really love these black and white stickers. Are great. They are real world, real life kinds of stickers, and I just like black and white as well. Definitely busy in terms of a spread just because of all of these photos. I think sometimes when I have the journal cards in there, that gives the overall design a little bit more breathing room, whereas this one tends to be really busy just because there's a lot of photos. And like I said, my entire album won't be like this. Some weeks there will be a lot more words than there are photos, and other times there will be a more balanced approach as well. But I really like the opportunity to make the week fit the stories that I want to tell. And I talk a lot about being the boss of my products and being the boss of my stories. And I talk actually quite a bit about that in a workshop that I have available. That's a self-paced class called Storytelling with Project Life that I developed a few years ago, that's accessible on my site as well if you want a more in-depth look at my processes and the way that I kind of think through what I want to do in a variety of different ways with my Project Life spreads. So after I got all of those stickers put on there, actually it looks like I'm still working through adding label stickers on there, and then getting a little bit of the story, again, a little bit more detail on, a little bit more perspective, right, of what's happening rather than just having the photos. And it doesn't have to be, these are not in-depth reflections. There's not enough space here for that kind of storytelling, which is something that I do in other projects. But here I like to just be able to say, oh, Simon's working on this, finishing up this Lego set from Christmas, right? It's just telling a bit more of the story to give a little more context throughout the album as a whole. I really like how this week came together. I like having a story to tell via a series, and it's not something that I do every week in Project Life, but I think when you can find something that you want to document, maybe it's what you're eating over the course of the week, or every time you get in the car, maybe you take a picture. Like, there's a lot of different ways that you can approach this project rather than it just being, what did I do on Monday? What did I do on Tuesday? And I know a lot of people, some people are really now into monthly documentation where they're doing they do it by the month. And so maybe the spread equals the month, or one half of the page equals a week, or one half of the spread equals a week. And there's really no right or wrong way to approach this project. It's really about making it work for the stories that you want to tell, which is one of the reasons why I keep doing it, because I still love it. This is still one of my favorite projects to embark on over the course of the year. So that's a look at my week one for Project Life 2018, and I hope to see you guys on my site in some classes and back on here again soon. See you again.